Alright, so I want to show you what a substantive good key point entry looks like. And so you'll notice I'm in the Wiki section of our course, and you'll notice when you log into the wikis, you're going to see your team color to know which wiki to click into. But in this case, I'm just going to show you an example. And for those of you who aren't really all that familiar with what a wiki is or does, you've seen the video kind of explaining it, but in our own course, you'll notice that there's a button called Edit Wiki Content over here. And when you click on that button, it brings up the editing tools that you're used to seeing to be able to go in and make changes to this page. And all 3 of your other group members also have editing privileges for this page. So you all 4 can make changes and updates. It is important to note that only one person at a time can edit the wiki content. So if you click this button and it tells you it's not available because someone else is editing it, that's because someone else is currently in there making changes. So that's the one sort of bummer about Blackboard's wiki. It's not quite like Google Docs where you can both be in at the same time. But it still does allow for you to collaborate. So let's get to the example. You'll notice that the requirements again were that each key point entry, and remember you're going to have 4, has a brief summary of the takeaway idea. So that is this sentence or 2 here. So you'll notice in this example, the key point or the big idea was there are distinct pedagogical differences between an online course and a face-to-face course. Instead of directing student learning, you will be facilitating and guiding students on varying paths of knowledge acquisition. So that's a pretty broad takeaway, and it's not verbatim from the video, but it did come from the video that you watched this week, and was sort of one of the big ideas that I took away from watching that video. So after you have the takeaway idea, you'll notice that the next required thing is a related and annotated website. So here, this website, Science Online at terc.edu, is the website, and here's the annotation. So this is a page of the Illinois Online Network website devoted to defining and providing strategies for facilitation of online courses. Again, this facilitation piece is what goes back to your key point. So all of this needs to be tied into the key point. It lists basic criteria for a person to be a successful facilitator, as well as what online students should expect from a facilitator. So again, this is what I'm going to be looking for, is that your related website is a robust resource for this key point. Okay. The next requirement is a related academic article, and it needs to be properly cited in APA as well as annotated. So you'll notice here's the citation and here's the annotation. So BART's 2010 article provides the pedagogical, managerial, social, and technical roles of quality facilitation that instructors should consider at different times in an online course. So again, because my key point is all about facilitating versus directing, that's why I chose this article. Your key point may be about a lot of different things that were covered in the chapter, so don't feel that you need to do your key point on facilitating. That's not the idea. Again, this is a big idea or a key point from anything that you read in the text, in the soft chalk, or viewed in the video. Alright, scrolling down, a related video and or graphic or infographic. So here you see I have an infographic thumbnail that shows the pedagogical battle of the century, e-learning versus classroom learning. And it kind of goes through this challenge of e-learning versus classroom learning in terms of effectiveness here, in terms of cost, motivation, and it declares the winner is e-learning. And so you'll see underneath the infographic or video or picture, whatever you find that's, again, related to the key point, I've got an annotation here that describes first where I got the infographic from, but saying that it gives a visual depiction of the major differences in online and traditional learning. It illustrates the advantages of online learning, and The ability of the online instructor is to serve as an expert facilitator, and it's a critical factor in what distinguishes the online environment to be more learner-driven. So you see again how the graphic or the video or the picture relates to my key point. Continuing on, the final piece is the substantive practical strategy, and this is what's most important for folks that will be reading these entries in the Edudemic blog. So what you want to do here is give online instructors some practical advice about what it means. In this case, the key point is to be a facilitator rather than a director of learning. So what practical strategies can you give instructors to do that? So it says here, instructors who are new to the online environment may find it hard to avoid the temptation of delivering their courses in the same manner as their face-to-face courses. However, the ability to leverage dynamic content, customize it for heterogeneous online learners while scaffolding activities and guiding learners on different learning paths is what makes teaching online a guide on the side rather than a sage on the stage activity. When online instructors can let go of the need to control all aspects of the learning environment, true facilitation will take place, and learners will benefit from a much richer, more meaningful experience. One first step in relinquishing control is to give students a chance to set their own learning goals and objectives. There's a good concrete strategy. There may be things students want to know about a subject that you are not aware of because of the difference between how a novice approaches a subject versus how an expert approaches it. So that's a really good, well-crafted practical strategy right there. So that is what makes up a good, solid key point. And in the next video example, I'm going to show you how I would like for each of you to contribute to each key point. So this entire key point won't be written by just one group member. This entire key point needs to be written by all 4 group members.